to be your Deputy Supreme Knight of the Order. Thank you. I really mean that. Only the fourth person from Canada, and I'm so humble. I say I'm fourth person from Canada, second from Ontario to serve in this role. One person mentioned to me yesterday he was surprised to read in my election to the post, and I said, so was I. And to say that it was a complete surprise is honestly the truth. I've learned since then that I was probably the last one to know I was being considered for this role. And talking to other Supreme Directors, this was something that they've been talking about. I had no idea. When the Supreme Knight asked me to consider serving in this position, I mentioned to him that it's an honor for Canada and for my parents, who did so much for the Order and their parish. And I've always and will continue to mention the name of Eddie Hispresi. Yes, I am a former squire, everybody knows that. And Eddie was my area chairman, and he told me, and I tell this story all the time, you're going to run for the provincial board of the squires. I said, are you crazy? And he said, no, you're going to. And if he hadn't done that, I wouldn't be standing here today. So what does the Deputy Supreme Knight do? The role is now a part-time job, and I have responsibility for the Pension Committee of the Order, which I chair, and also the Scholarships Committee. I'm going to be focusing on Canada, what we can do to continue the success that we've experienced so much over the past year, as Mark McMullen noted last night. And with my experience in the charitable sector, I'll be also helping with the charities area, both in terms of how we solicit and our charitable contributions. And one thing I tell you, I mention this at the Supreme all the time, that we raise money in Canada, we need to make sure it gets allocated in Canada too. So we need to show that that money's going back into Canada if we want to get Canadian Knights to donate. I also want to be our voice for Canada, highlighting our efforts and bringing our challenges to the table. Since I began serving in this role earlier this month, I've heard from Brother Knights about many aspects, stories or lack thereof in Colombia, the shipping costs when ordering supplies, the 4th degree uniform, and I know Brother Joe just talked about that, I'm going to just touch on it for a second. I'm not sure if we're going to resolve everything, but I'm going to do what I can to bring Canada's interest to the forefront. So I want to touch on a couple things you see on the screen here. The supplier for the 4th degree uniform, and the Vice Supreme Master just mentioned that. We were on a call the other day, and as he said, we are working on this. In my conversations with the Supreme Office and the Supreme Master, I've indicated that having a supplier where Canadian brothers can physically go and order the uniform, be measured, and have alterations done without shipping it back and having to pay extra shipping costs, and then you order it and find out it's not the right size, we need to have a physical component to that. So one thing we have to remember about the word uniform, because this has come up, and I'll tell you from my school board days, I remember people would say, why do I have to buy the uniform from the supplier? Why can't I just go to the store? And I'd say, which one of the 14 shades of gray are you going to be wearing? One thing we have to remember about the word uniform is it means everyone is wearing the same thing, and it means in particular the same shade of color of jacket and pant. So we need to ensure that that's going to be the case. And as Brother Joe mentioned, we're working on that, and we'll keep everyone posted. And speaking of purchasing items, the cost of ordering supplies and then shipping them has often been cited as a concern. And I shared it the other day, my council, I do the birthday cards. We send birthday cards to our members. We spend $20, I think it is, to order the birthday cards and $40 to ship them. And we know, we've heard the stories. The Mother Teresa video was $15 and $35 to ship. Somebody said the other day, I think Danielle and I were on a call, one of the directors mentioned that they ordered the patches for the 4th degree. They got 9 patches and it cost $17 to ship them. So I brought this up as a concern, and one of the things I've noted in my conversation, and I think we've all seen this, if you go on the Supreme website, the Canadian Knights Gear Canada, Canadian Supplies Online, not everything is there. That's right. And I pointed out to the person at Supreme, I said, for the birthday cards, I go to the Canadian website, they're not there, so I have to go to the American site to get them. Why isn't it on the Canadian website? And she mentioned she didn't she wasn't aware of this, and she said to point out things that aren't available on the Canadian site that are on the US site, and the office team will see what they can do to put that on the Canadian site. So, not that I don't have enough emails, but if you see something on that's not on the Canadian site, that's on the American site, let me know. I'll pass it along, and let's see what we can do to get everything on the Canadian website. Because the reason we're ordering from the American site isn't because we don't go to the Canadian site, it's because it's not there. So this is something I brought forward. Use of the C2C logo, the French logo. And I have to give credit to Mario Duguay. Earlier this year, our executive secretary sent me an email noting that the use of the C2C logo was being eliminated for the use from Supreme. So we moved to consistent branding for the order for the KFC logo across the order. So no matter where you are, if you're in the Ukraine, if you're in Poland, Mexico, Korea, Canada, the United States, no matter what the language, the logo is now the KFC logo. But we've been discussing with Supreme about the importance of the C2C logo in Canada, and I think we're going to have more to report after the convention on this. And one thing to note, and I know Danielle, myself, RC, we always point this out. French Canada doesn't just mean Quebec. There's every province has French council. And Danielle can tell you, we have mentioned this many times. Don't equate French Canada with Quebec. And that means not only in the use of logo, it means in translation of materials. Why do we have to wait to get the French materials? Now, Danielle brings this point up many times. Why does the other materials come up quickly, but French has to wait? I know this is something we have to improve, and I know Supreme Office is looking at that. So we'll keep you posted on that, but I think we'll have more after the convention on the use of the logo. Award submissions. I've been involved in judging the award winners for the Supreme Convention, and we know there's many great programs happening in our councils that we're not seeing, or a submission isn't being sent in for the awards program, or it could be better described. So as district deputies, I ask you to identify those projects that your councils are doing and work with them. First, to make sure they're submitting that award, but also then to help them to put together a package that's going to be compelling and will draw the attention of state and Supreme. We want to have international program award winners from Canada. We've had them in the past, so please help us to do that. You know, I remember when I was state deputy, somebody said, oh, awards, it doesn't matter. And I can remember we gave an award that night. At the end of the night, we were doing some photos, and I can tell you where I was standing. There was a man standing, and a man over here on a phone phoning somebody going, you won't believe just what happened. If you don't think anybody cares about awards, you're wrong. And we don't do it to be recognized. We're recognized because we do it. So work with your council and let's try to get some more award winners from Canada at the international level. Membership statistics. Don, can you throw the next slide up? So I've been tracking the membership in the order since 2009, and this will be, I guess this will be on the website. You'll be able to get it from there. On the screen, you can see that the order since 2009 has increased by 17%. But in Canada, we're down 12%, from 230,000 to 203,000. And if you look at Ontario, you can see that 14 years ago, Ontario had 56,900 members and now has 54,900 members. So how many pancake breakfasts, membership Sundays, interviews, first degrees, second degrees, third degrees have we done over the past 14 years? And if you look at 1,800 members a year average, that's almost 27,000 members new, and we're 2,000 less than we were 14 years ago. Think about that. If you were running a company and those were your stats, what would you be saying? This year, only 4 of our jurisdictions across Canada increased their membership over the previous year, and Ontario was one of them for the 4th time since 2009. That's a credit to Marcel, David, and the team from last year who did so much to grow the order. Growing the order is not about the numbers. It's about the future of the Knights of Columbus. And as our state deputy pointed out last night, there are people relying on us to carry out our charitable activities. Who's going to feed the hungry? Who's going to stand up for the unborn, assist our parishes and clergy if there wasn't a Knights of Columbus? So please keep membership recruitment at the top of your priority list this year. As our state deputy noted yesterday, broken down, it's very simple, 20 members a district. Can we do it? Yes, we can. And now it's up to each of us to make that happen. And if you get 20, don't stop there, because there may be a district that can't get 20. So get 25 to help them out. And in doing so, make sure you give your fraternal benefits advisor the opportunity to inform members about our benefits program and what we do to offer to protect families. Yesterday, Michael McMullen mentioned that the long-term care insurance that we offer, and we're only one of 2 companies, I think, that offer that, if not the only company that does. If you've ever had to pay for the cost of a nursing home, and I have, I paid for my dad in a nursing home for a relative, you know why it's an important product that we have, and it's not offered by many organizations. So it's necessary that we give our members the opportunity to hear about the nights and how we're doing to protect families. Over the past day and a bit, you've received a lot of information that will help you and your councils with tools for a successful year ahead. As district deputies, you are the representative of the state deputy in the supreme night for the councils in your area. One comment that I picked up about from yesterday among many was to be accountable and enforce accountability. We need you to encourage your councils, and in doing so, you'll be holding them accountable for ensuring they complete the mandated activity of the order and also provide for the future. At your upcoming district meetings, please pass along the information you've gathered this weekend. Encourage them to be membership and program active, and in doing so, you'll be doing your part to ensure that the nights will be here long after we've left. 2 very quick last things. 1, I understand the importance of having the Deputy Supreme Net as a member of the Order from Ontario, and I want to work to maintain and earn the trust that you placed in me. So since my election, I've received invitations to attend council meetings or events, and I'm going to do my best as possible to attend as many as possible. If a councillor assembly would like for me to attend a meeting or a function, just send me an email. Don, you can throw up the next slide. I don't know who that guy is. But the emails are there, the phone number is there. I'll do my best to be there. As the State Secretary mentioned yesterday, it's not often Ontario has the Deputy Supreme Night in attendance at events, so I'll do my best to be there if I'm asked. And secondly, we've experienced a very successful weekend over the past 3 days. And I know that everyone has seen and experienced the passion, dedication, and hard work that our state deputy and his wife Zoe put into making this weekend successful. And I mentioned at our state board meeting on Friday that we're going to feed off their energy and have a very successful year ahead. As Marcel and Nat and his past state deputies in Ontario can tell you, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to bring this weekend together. And while there's many people involved to make that possible, it does start with leadership. So let's show our appreciation to State Deputy Poulin for all of the planning and hard work that he's taken to bring this weekend to a fabulous success. And worthy State Deputy, we look forward to the year ahead under your leadership, and we know your energy, your commitment, and your enthusiasm is going to drive us back to the Circle of Honor this year.